Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Hi-Fi News, etc. And for this particular week, I have a hint and tip for you a bit later on. I've got four news items, only one or two are multi-part, and trivia. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know last week was history, that was the end of that. We're changing the theme. I'm going to go languages. Let's pick one in particular. Let's say German. German, we're going to look at that. The question this time around is this, fairly short and sweet. The Beatles re-recorded two of their big hits in German language versions. Which two hits? One more time. The Beatles re-recorded two of their big hits in German language versions. Which two hits? As ever, please don't do any Googling, don't do any research. Just a bit of fun, and it's just a bit of a tease for your brain. So have a little think at the end of this video. I'll give you the answer. Until then, Hi-Fi News. We're going to start with the Swiss company Goldmund, and they have two preamps. And there's a bit of an apology to Greek scholars here, because I'm going to mispronounce a couple of words. Two amplifiers, I think there are ancient Greek connections. The first one is mimesis, could be mimesis, and themis. Probably slaughtered both of those. Any Greek scholars out there, tell me where I've gone wrong. Anyway, not a great deal of information on this pair so far anyway, but I'll give you what I have. These are, as I say, Swiss-made digital analog preamps. Well, at least the first one, the Mimesis, is. The Mimesis Excellence, apparently, that's its full name, Mimesis Excellence, features the new Themis audio board with independent audio cards for each channel, which I found intriguing. The Themis board includes shielding against electromagnetic emissions and a modular design for easy maintenance. There's a customized DAC, although I'm not sure what particular DAC they are using here, but apparently it goes up to DSD 512, so fairly high-spec-ish, I would say, with fully separated power supplies and high-end transformers. You can buy this in signature grey and matte black, and I have three extraordinarily high-end prices for you. First up, we have £45,000, $48,000, and our guest currency for this video, Australian dollars, 81,000 of those, please. Now, the Themis, or the Themis, is another preamp, named after, apparently, the Greek goddess of divine order and justice. So you're going to give that name to our piece of hi-fi equipment, aren't you? Each channel, left and right, features a dedicated audio card minimizing noise. There's a next generation DAC in this one, but again, I have no idea what that might mean. And I, unfortunately, have no prices for this one, but I'm guessing it's in line with the first batch. So it's one of those, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Next, a quickie, and Tannoy at Tokyo. There was a Tokyo hi-fi show, apparently, which I've missed, and you've now missed this because it was a few days ago. And the reason I'm bringing this up at all is that they showed, the company Tannoy that is, they showed a new speaker called the Autograph 12 using dual concentric drive units. They were there also to demonstrate the flagship Super Gold Monitor 15 speakers from the 3-strong series. I think I've already featured that particular series here on Hi-Fi News. No prices for this one, but I just wanted to give the company a bit of a nod. more info, a bit more depth now to Sonus Faber, who I seem to be talking about a lot recently. They're a very busy company. They have a pair of bookshelf speakers called the Concertino G4s. These are two-way passive bookshelf speakers, and they arrive with a limited version because the first 300 pairs will be produced as Maestro special editions, featuring a brass plaque complete with progressive numbering applied on the walnut side panel of the speaker. These limited editions, the first 300, I don't think you get anything extra in terms of performance or specialized parts. I think you get a brass plaque and that's it, because it's a low number in production. So if that floats your boat, check those out. Anyway, the central chassis is actually crafted from cork, which you don't hear a great deal about in terms of speakers. Cork, interesting material, I would say. They do maintain the trapezoidal shape, which apparently in itself reduces the need for additional damping inside the cabinet. The side walls of these speakers are crafted, as I've already mentioned, from solid walnut, and they feature ribbed surfaces. This is to enhance rigidity, apparently. You also get recycled leather and a plant-based leather alternative produced by Oho Skin, and that covers the cork structure and also the front baffle. Other features include an aluminium ring enclosing the silk tweeter, a reflex duct output crafted out of walnut wood. You get a 1-inch silk dome tweeter with DAD technology, a 5-inch long throw paper pulp mid-bass unit with an organic basket, and a dedicated stand. You can buy a dedicated stand. Sensitivity for these speakers, and I bring this up because they are 4 ohm speakers. Sensitivity is 85 decibels, and you're looking at a 30-watt amp to drive them. I thought that wattage might be a bit higher, but no, 30 watts apparently and up. Prices, well, there's a few. I'm going to put them all on the screen now. You can see the G4s per pair in pounds and also euros, and I'll also include prices for the stands. Finally, a pair of headphones from, of all people, Dyson, called the On Track. Now, these are priced either at $499 or £449. The Dyson On Tracks are wireless, over-the-ear, noise-cancelling headphones. They use 8 microphones, and that will cancel out 40 decibels of outside noise and 60 decibels of cradle of filth. Using 16-ohm neodymium magnet drivers, the speaker housing is tilted 13 degrees towards the ear, which I kind of remember Sennheiser did that with the recent 620s. I could be wrong, but I think they did. Anyway, battery life is around 55 hours because you've got 2 lithium batteries. The ear cups are filled with a sort of foam cushion and also micro suede. And they have multi-pivotal gimbal arms around those cups, as you might expect. One interesting feature, an outfit called US Ergo, or, to give it its longer name, United States Ergonomics, who apparently specialize in product and workplace ergonomics and product certification. There's a mouthful. Well, they've categorized these headphones as comfortable. And I would just like to add, surely that's up to you and me, isn't it? Not an office full of stripes. It sounds like my mother. Eat up. It's delicious. Yeah, right. Okay, Mum. Other features? Well, you get head detect, so the music pauses when you take off the headphones, while any phone calls you may receive are apparently clearer because of dual beam forming microphones. Also, these headphones are for listening to music only and have nothing to do with sucking out your earwax. Let's remember that, people. James is doing his best here. Let's respect that. That is the end of your HiFi news. Let's do a hint, a tip. Now this hint and tip reflects my recent Nosti Disco Antistat Mark II Plus review, I think, and a few extra tips for you that are not talked about in the review itself. For example, Nosti itself wants you to clean your vinyl, as we all do, and then use the included filter to return the bathwater back into the bottle for later reuse, using its own liquid, of course. Now, putting the liquid to one side just for a moment, I'm not a fan of that because I have marginal faith in the filter itself and if it will recontaminate the rest of the bottle. More importantly, I'm not a great fan of the liquid in the first place. So my own bathwater source does not derive from the bottle. So it won't be going back there then, will it? But even so, I hope you get my drift on the recommended practices. Now, I much prefer to fill a bath, the Nosti bath, the Disco Antistat. Then I do a long cleaning session over 2 to 3 days, and then I bin the bathwater. So for example, if I was using a Disco, I might commit a weekend to cleaning, then bin it after that session, because I know I won't be doing any more cleaning for, I don't know, at least a week anyway. Which means the bathwater might stay put initially for my cleaning session for around 2 to 3 days. That being the case, I recommend grabbing some heavyweight foil, metal foil, well as heavy and as quality and as thick as you can buy, and then shape a large piece of that foil around the bath and use it as a sort of makeshift lid. Why quality heavy foil? Well, heavy foil tends to stay in place. Also, quality foil tends not to puncture. Thin foil will have holes all over the place. You'll touch it and there'll be a hole, it'll rip, that kind of thing. Depending on the mucky nature of your records, let's say they are averagely mucky, I will clean 30 or so records before I bin the bathwater, and then clean out the bath and the brushes with distilled water, plus a lint-free cloth and or a brush. And when I mention a brush for cleaning, I'm thinking of something like a nail brush, stubby little bristles on a wooden handle, something tough but not damaging. Now some of you, I know because you've told me, also use a second bath for rinsing. Now rinsing is important because it removes any remaining surfactants, if you use surfactants or other grime that might be hanging on for grim death, or any other substance you may use in the cleaning bath. You can get away with one bath because I've tried it, I've tested it, and it's fine. But I do accept the fact that a second bath is a better option, a preferred option, a superior option. So yeah, second bath is a good idea. Now before we go, I think you need an answer to the trivia question. And to remind you, it is the Beatles re-recorded 2 of their big hits in German language versions. Which 2 hits? And the answer is She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand. In January 1964, just before they made their first visit to the United States, which would see them transformed into a planetary sensation, the Beatles reluctantly went into a studio in Paris to record German language vocals for She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I won't bother you with the translation because I'll probably muck it up. This was at the insistence of the German record company Odeon, who argued that the German public would never buy their records unless they were done in German. The Beatles never made this kind of concession again. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this particular video. Before I let you go, just want to thank you once more for all of your support. It's very much appreciated. And hopefully I will see you back here, same place next week. And I hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.